Alright, y'all. Peace and love, family. Today we talk about the keys and the laws of manifestation and where people have gone wrong as to why they cannot manifest the life that they, that they desire, that they want for themselves. Because we don't know the laws of creation, we don't know the laws of how all things come into existence. Um, See, I use a lot of references from the Bible, a lot of biblical references, because I recognize that there's principles within these books that exist outside of religion itself. So this is why I go to these things and why I sometimes use these things as references, even though my faith is not in these religions. I still see and understand the truth that exists in all things, though, because I recognize that people who created this book were also people who are aware of the truth of the sciences of life, and that's why they put these keys or these principles within them, for the highly intellectual who look beyond the religion and just seeing the principle, the kingdom keys, they will be able to grasp and manifest their life, and it's right there in plain sight. Now, the reason why I'm I want to talk about this is because we have to understand that the reason why we cannot create like our creator is because we don't have no idea who the creator is. We don't have the truth of the creator. This is why we cannot create like the creator can, because it is stated in the Bible that ye are gods, okay? And we are the children of the Most High. All right, and let me put that. Ye are gods, and yeah, the children of the Most High. Okay, this is from Psalms 82, chapter 82, verse 6. Okay, I'm gonna pull this up for everybody. I'm gonna show my screen. Hold on. I'm not just gonna show my. I'm just going to capture this. Okay. Let me share this real quick. Okay, I cannot share it that way. Well, okay, as you can see right here, it states, I have said ye are gods, and all of you are the children of the Most High. Okay? I've said ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. The fact that you are the child of the Most High lets you understand that the God's, the Creator's DNA runs through you. Okay? The Creator's DNA runs through you. You are her child. You are the child of God. And that by that by that being true, it grants you with God's capabilities. Okay? It grants you with the capabilities of God. Okay? So because you are the child of the Most High, that makes you God by default, but not the Creator, not the Most High. It just makes you God by default. Okay. So in understanding that, because we have no idea what the true identity of God is, as this is Satan's corruption, because Satan wanted us to not know who God was, because we have no true idea of who God really is, we don't know who we are. You get what I mean? And because you don't know who you are, you don't know what your spiritual inheritance is. You don't know what you're capable of. You don't know anything. And this is due to ignorance, but not just any ignorance, spiritual ignorance. Ignorance kills all. Okay. But the ignorance that truly kills is spiritual ignorance. And spiritual ignorance is ignorance of who you are, who the Creator is, and who you're meant to be. You get what I mean? Like, you don't know life. Spiritual ignorance is being ignorant to the forces at hand in life, being ignorant to what life is, being ignorant to your Creator, and being ignorant of your opposition. Okay? Just like the art of war. If you don't know yourself, you lost the war. Okay? Not knowing yourself. And not if you don't know your enemy, you lost the battle. If you don't know yourself, you lost the war. Okay? If you don't know, if you lost the battle. If you don't know yourself, know you can win a battle. If you know yourself and not your enemy, you can still lose a battle. So I'm gonna pull that up so I can say it correctly. Okay? So I can give you the proper perspective of it. Okay? The art of war. Okay. All right. Let me share. Let me share my screen real quick. Okay, so I can get this out real quick. Let me share my screen. All right. It states, if you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. Okay, you need not to fear any battles you come across. Okay, because you know what you're doing, you know what you're capable of, and you know what your enemy's capable of, and you are at the end of the day greater. But if you know yourself but not the enemy, for every victory gained, you will also suffer a defeat. So y'all both gonna win and lose. If you just know yourself but not your enemy, y'all both will be able to win and lose. But if you know neither the enemy nor yourself, you will succumb in every battle. Chill out. Don't know what? Alright. So at the end of the day, this is why we are at a disadvantage. Because we're at a disadvantage because excuse me, we're dealing with spiritual ignorance. We don't know ourselves, we don't know our enemy, and we damn sure don't know the Most High. So this is the issue. This is what's been going on with our people, and the reason why we're not manifestors or creators of our life the way we should be, co-creators of reality. The reason why we cannot co-create and we're actually being enslaved and we're having we're being bombarded with other people's creations with the creations of your enemy is because you do not have this information. You do not know this information. Because you do not know this information, this is why you're suffering. Okay, like I said, this is why you suffer because you don't know. At the end of the day, you don't since you don't know this information, this is why you suffer. Because if you don't know neither the enemy nor yourself, you will succumb in every battle. You will stay fucking suffering. Okay? Because you don't know any of this. Let me show you something else. Letting this, it's taking all day. There, my bad, y'all. But right here, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Okay, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. We are being conquered and destroyed because of our lack of knowledge, our lack of spiritual knowledge, our lack of knowledge of self and the Creator. Because that's what spirituality is, your relationship to the Creator and the Creator's relationship to you. Okay, so spirituality is the relationship to spirit and spirit's relationship to you. Spirituality is the relationship to is your relationship to God and God's relationship to you. And the image of that, even in the Bible, it says in the Bible, you can use the Bible as reference. The image of that relationship is Jesus Christ. Because Christ is the consciousness, Jesus is the man. Okay. And Jesus, which is Jesus, and really keep going down, Isis, Jesus, come on, you can keep coming down. You can find that Jesus is just Isis. But I'm not gonna go that far. But Jesus was the man. Christ was the level of consciousness he was able to elevate himself to the point to where he and God were now one in flesh, in physical form. That is the purpose of man. That is the true relationship, the true spiritual connection between. That is true spirituality. That is the image of spiritual. That's how spirituality should have always been. It's not following the books. It's not following any of that. It's understanding and having that bond with you and your creator to the point so you don't need no book anymore. You don't need to follow no rules, no laws. I seen that somewhere in the Bible. Let me find this, okay? All right. Okay, so I gotta find that, and I ain't got the time for that right now. But anyway, this is why Jesus Christ never wrote no book, because you're not you. We are not here to follow books. We're here to be connected to God and listening to and following God within us. And Christ had to come and be the mere reflection of that, because people were failing to realize. Okay, people were failing to realize that God is not in no book. And God is not some words, some meager words. God is the creator that lives within you. And you have to understand that. Not because you are the Most High, but because the Most High is your parent. And by default, because the Most High is your parent, you share the same genes that your parent has, right? You and your parent share similar genes at this point. And now you now have access to the same power that the Most High has access to, just not in the same velocity or fortitude. You don't have access to all of it, but you have access to enough of it to be God on earth. That was your true original identity. Now, let me keep following my point. The issue that we're having, and the reason why a lot of things there's a bigger problem going on is because we don't have no identity of who God really is. Because we don't have no identity of who God is, this is why we suffer. Because if you knew who God was, you should know how you would know your power and how to create, because you were made in the image of that. So when we understand that we were made in the image of God, man was made in the image of God. What is God? Who's God? And what is that image? This is why we have to find the truth. And the truth, and I'm going to tell everybody who God is right now. God is the great mother. And the great mother is God. And we are her children. And she is self created. And she creates through her own self, needing no partner, no husband, no man, no any outside force. It did not take any outside force to create the life. She was not bound by anybody else but herself. And she created life itself from her own essence. And when she created man, she created man in her image. And when I mean man, I am not talking about the male. I'm talking about the woman. Because if we said there was one person first, it would have to be the woman. And from woman came all life. And this is what people are missing, okay? When the great mother created Adam, okay, was the masculine active, the masculine principle of the universe, okay? And the masculine principle of the universe, the masculine principle period, is an extension of the feminine principle. And to something that's extended means it's still connected and it's still the same, but it just became extended. Okay? It just got longer to do a certain job or function. So masculine energy is an extension of feminine energy. So feminine energy is creative, masculine energy is active. You need activity, you know what I'm saying, for creativity. When you create something, you need activity to create for creativity. So the feminine is the creative aspect, the masculine is the act aspect. So when God created Atom was the atom of life. It was the minute particle of mother. It was the particle of mother that was atom. And atom was made in the image of mother, of God, right? Mother, matter. Atom is a minute portion of matter. Matter is mother. Mother, mater, whatever you want to say. But matter is all of everything. Everything is matter, and Adam was made in matter's image. Okay? Matter was made in atom, man was made, Adam was made in matter's mother's image. And that atom, which is a minute portion of mother of matter, then creates Eve from the atom, creates Eve, and Eve came from the atom's rib. What is the atom's rib? What is DNA? Deoxyribonucleic acid. Nucleic acid. Deoxyribonucleic acid. You have to understand. And deoxyribonucleic acid, which is DNA, is a molecule. And what is a molecule? A group of atoms. A group of atoms. So atoms come together and form a molecule. Molecule then creates DNA, and DNA creates human being. You have to understand. So Eve was created from the rib of DNA. the deoxyribonucleic acid. Eve came out of DNA of the atom. So the Eve came out of Adam's rib. Adam was made in the image of God, which was matter, mother. So Adam is still mother. Adam is the active principle of mother, of the great mother, and that's the active masculine principle of herself, because she's the bisexual goddess. Bi meaning two polarities within her being, and these two polarities was masculine and feminine. These were her essences, her in her spirit, her energies that she created with. So the atom is that aspect of her that was in the dark waters. The spirit of God hovers over the face of the deep, the cosmic ocean. You have to understand this. So when Adam came and was made in the image of mother, God then puts Adam to sleep, and from Adam's rib creates Eve, and Eve is then called the mother of all living, because the first actual human being ever created was a woman, and she became the mother of all living. And Eve, the mother of all living, came from Adam, which is nothing but DNA of the Most High. When the Most High put all these elements together, all these particles came together to create the atom to then produce Eve, which would be the mother of all living. That's how it was done and created. And you have to understand that by knowing that true identity of God. God is a woman. God is the great mother. It's a mother. And this people understand. And then from Eve came man and woman. And then God plants us in the garden, earth, and say, be fruitful and multiply. And that was the purpose of man. And be fruitful and multiply means to create. So our purpose was to be the create. It was to create, to be co-creators. Now what I'm saying this is that we want to know, how do we create the lives we deserve? How do we create the lives? The lives that we see. People don't fuck with astrology. Not understanding that astrology is a language. Is a language of light. Astrology gives you the blueprint for yourself and your destiny. And people, they don't see, the devil don't want you to know that there is a blueprint for your life and how you should live it. Why would God send us out in this world without a manual? But we lost our sciences. Astrology was the study of the stars. It was a study of God, because isn't it written in your Bible that said God is light? And God is the sun. And astrology studies sun, stars. So, anyway, I just want us to know that if God is a woman, if God is a mother, God created everything like a mother will create everything. And we are made in God's image and after her likeness. So if we want to create, we have to create like her. But how does a woman create? To create, you must have a womb. And to have a womb, you must be a woman. And everything that gets ignited within that womb has a gestation period. That's time. And this is the key to the law of attraction, the law of manifestation. We lost the sciences of creation. This is why we are in hell, because we don't know how to create heaven. There's blueprints on it. And I'm stating this to say that when God created life, God didn't create life instantaneously. It took God 7 days, 6 days to create this world. You took the creator of life. It took the creator of life 6 days to create this world, right? Let me see. Six days. It takes God 6 days to create. And I want to show y'all something. Y'all need to see something. Let me pull this up. The 6 numerologically represents mothering, birth, nurturing, feminine mother qualities. Because what people do not recognize or understand is that the 6 symbolizes pregnancy. When you look at a pregnant woman, she is in the outline of a 6. She is in the outline of a 6. Six represents pregnancy, giving birth. And this is why when you look at a this is why when you look at it, right? It takes 9 months to gestate. 9 months to gestate. And when you reach full pregnancy, you're in the shape of a 6. From different perspectives, 9 could be 6 and 6 could be 9. How would you ever know? Because in all actuality, 6 and 9 are the same. The same character, just in different perspectives. And that's what people have to understand. That the Great Mother created the world in 6 days. Created this world in 6 days. And it's so many truths to this. See, for the male perspective, 6 days is 6,000 years. It's been 6,000 years that we've been suffering since patriarchy was birthed. But even still, it had to be birthed into, and the birth is the 6, and the 9 is the time. So let me get back to it. So because we don't have no identity of who our creator is, we have no idea how to create. Because if you understood that your creator is a woman, is a mother, you should create your life like a mother. You should create your life like you. This is the motherhood and creation. Gestation is the key to creation. The womb is the key to creation. Gestation is the key to having what you want. What is a farmer? Okay. The same thing a gardener does is the same thing when a mother does when she's pregnant. It's the same shit. You put a seed into the earth, you water it, it grows, you nurture it, you care for it until it reaches its peak development to be harvested. Same thing as a baby. We have to recognize that. If you want to create your world, your reality the way you want, you have to understand and respect the law of gestation, because the law of gestation is what governs this universe, is what governs this world, because this world is governed by a woman, a mother. Life was created from a womb. We live in a womb and is governed by the womb. The womb are the kingdom keys. So how life grows in the womb is how you shall grow life. This is how you manifest your desired reality. So yeah, so we have to understand that. So learn the laws of your cosmic mind. Learn the laws and the rules on how you grow. You grow things. And I'm gonna put some keys out right here. Within your mind is consciousness, is awareness. But your mind has a subconscious mind and a conscious mind. Your subconscious mind is the creative aspect, is the womb of consciousness. The subconscious is the womb of the mind, is the womb of consciousness. So if you want something to be created, you have to be able to implant this inside the subconscious, which you have to be able to get your idea, whatever it is that you want, inside the womb of consciousness, of the subconscious mind. And look at everything. You have to wait. As soon as you implant that child into that womb, it needs to be developed. And you have to wait until it grows and reaches the level of maturity to then be born and birth and experienced. That's the same thing we have to understand. But we're so impatient and we want it to happen now that we are now experiencing what women will experience, which is heart wrenching abortion, not abortions, but miscarriages. We are miscarriaging our ideas, our dreams. And due to that, we are suffering internally, and our heart is hardened and hard because of the pain we keep experiencing from failed dreams. Dreams that died at our own hands because we could not feed our dreams, our seed, our creation what it needed to grow. We did not nurture, we was bad parents. We did not nurture our ideas. We did not nurture our vision. We did not nurture our goals. None of that. And this is why we suffer. We did not protect our child from harm. We did not give our child all that it needed to grow. And because of that, we failed and our child was miscarried. And the child is our child of thought, our mental visions. And that's why we're failing. So I say this to state we lack in patience. We don't know how to wait and have faith for our divine seeds to grow into maturity. And we don't know how to even create. We don't know the art of creation. So the reason why I wanted to, now I'm gonna get back to it. You have a conscious mind. Your conscious mind is broken up into left brain, right brain, intellect, emotion. You have to use the intellect and the emotion. The intellect would be sperm. The emotion would be ovum. Okay? When sperm meets ovum, there's conception. Then when conception occurs, there's implantation. And when implantation occurs, there's growth. When growth occurs, there's birth. That is how life is created within the womb. So you need sperm and ovum to come together and conceive. But who has to come to who? The ovum or the sperm? The sperm has to come. So the sperm represents the thought. You have to have the thought. Okay? You have to have the thought. What is next? Once you have the thought of what it is that you want, you then need the emotion. And how do you have emotion? Add emotion to thought. Imagination. You then have to imagine your thought. Okay? Because imagination plus thought creates what? The feeling. And the feeling is the secret. So you have to use your left and your right brain to create the seed. You have to merge the thought, the sperm with the egg, the imagination, the emotion. They come together. The seed is created. And the seed holds the blueprint, the idea of what you want it to grow into. So then you now have to implant that seed into the womb. And that womb is your subconscious. And the way to implant that seed into the womb of your mind, the subconscious, is due to feeling. You have to feel as if that seed is alive. You have to feel as if your idea was conceived. You have to, because people don't understand that their mind, their wombs have fertility issues. You don't have a fertile mind. That's why nothing grows. Because your mind is not able to conceive. And you have to heal your mind so you can then conceive. Because conception is where the life process begins and then is implanted into the womb to grow into maturity. So you have to understand that when you have your thought and the imagination, the emotion come together and they generate a feeling. And this feeling is the blueprint. This feeling is the DNA. This feeling is the code of what conduct, whatever they say. But the feeling is the spirit. And then that is the only thing the subconscious responds to. When you put the life inside your thought, when you put the life inside this idea and this dream through your imagination, it then gets implanted in the subconscious mind. And then you must nurture it. You must now nurture and protect this seed growing within your mind. And how do you nurture this womb, this child? Because that's not the end of life. It doesn't. It's not done at conception. You have to make sure that child is healthy in the womb. Because if it's not healthy, it will not be born. Now, how do you make sure it's healthy? You affirm it. Your thoughts, your feelings, your actions are the nutrients necessary for your idea to sprout into being. For your idea to mature, you have to move as if that idea is alive, is living. You have to feel as if it's alive, it's living. You have to think as if it's alive and it's living. The same way, if you as a woman woke up, took a pregnancy test and found out she was pregnant. The same way as if you as a man woke up and your girl told you or your wife told you that she's pregnant with your child, with y'all child. The same thing that occurs then. You have to prepare for this child to come. Your life is not the same anymore, right? You have to move different. What do you call men who do not prepare for their child and act as if that child does not exist? Deadbeats. And they don't get the benefits of being called or considered a father. And they actually get impact their life worse being a deadbeat. You have to deal with child support, something that's going to continuously take from you and put you in a worse situation because you neglected your creation, which is sinful. Why create it? Just to neglect it. That's why a lot of people go through seasonal depression. A lot of people so fucking depressed because they cannot have or create what they want. What else? So, and knowing that, you then have, so when you wake at that call, or when you look at that test and says you're pregnant, your life flashes before you. That's you now have to rearrange your life to fit that thought, to fit that child. I mean, now that you know a baby's coming, you have to move, find a good place for you and that child. Maybe you're staying with somebody that's not fit for that child, so now you have to leave and find a new place. Maybe go back home, stay with your mama. Maybe the environment you're around, you can't be here with your child. Maybe you're not making enough money. Maybe you don't have a job right now, but now you need to go get a job because now you gotta take care of the child, you and the child. Now the child it need to have clothes, it needs to have things for when it get out. So now you're preparing for this child. You're moving as if this child exists because it does. It's living within you and growing, and you have to nurture it and care for it out inside of you and also outside of you. You moving different. You're thinking different. You're preparing. You no longer can act the same when you're pregnant. As a woman, you can't go out partying and drinking and smoking with your friends. Because why? Because if you did that, it would kill that child. And you want that child. So you can't do that. So automatically your actions change and switch up. You move different. You can no longer eat garbage and snack. You gotta eat healthy food. Cause why? Because if you eat nothing but garbage and sodas and processed foods, it can affect that child's development. So you have to take nourishing foods. You have to you have to make sure it has what it needs to grow. You can't just walk away and forget about that child. You can't just be no. When you pregnant, you gotta make sure you go get your checkups. You go to the yeah, you know what I'm saying, the media, your doctor's appointments. It doesn't matter if you don't subscribe to, you know what I'm saying, going to the hospital. You gotta, you know what I'm saying, what you call it, the nurse, house, a midwife. You got your midwife. You gotta make sure that child is developing. You gotta check up on it and see its phases if everything's cool, right? The same shit. You can't just forget about your dream. You can't just forget about your idea and let it fall by the wayside. Because how do you know it's okay? How do you know it's still growing? How do you know it's going to be there at the end of the gestation period? How do you know? All the keys of creation. If you want an idea, if you want this goal to be met, if you want this vision you see in your mind to be born, you have to respect the laws of creation. You have to respect the laws of God. And by respecting these laws, you shall get what it is you ask for. Ask and you shall be given. There's no no's for you once you respect God. There's no such thing as no or I can't have once you respect God. That's why they said you can move a mountain with the faith of a mustard seed. You can move mountains. You can move mountains, move a mountain with the faith of a mustard seed. Why? Why do you need faith? Why faith? Why faith? So I want y'all to understand how come faith. With the mustard seed of faith, you can move a mountain. Why is that? Don't worry, I'm gonna get to it. I forget. I'm just pull up everything. Now I want you to understand how can faith, a mustard seed of faith, move a mountain? Because A, faith is complete trust or confidence in someone or something. Okay? Trust is a strength of someone or something. So when you have faith, you have complete trust. You have complete belief, acceptance that something's true without evidence or investigation. Okay? Faith is the acceptance of the truth of a statement without evidence or investigation. So, A, to have faith, meaning you do not need to see. It does not need to be proven to you that something is going to happen. And you're not out seeking proof that something's going to happen. You see that? Because you know it's going to happen. I'm going to ask you this question. When you say, hey, when you know something is in a place, when you just know something is there, you're not out. See, it's like, I was trying to lead by that example, but I don't think that's a good one. Acceptance of a truth of a statement without evidence or investigation requires complete trust in the truth of someone or something, the reliability of someone or something, the ability of someone or something, and the strength of someone or something. So you trust in someone's ability to the point to where you accept whatever that statement is, whatever they agreed upon to be true without evidence, without investigation. So when you know that your homeboy always pays people, or you know that your homeboy, you have trust in your homeboy's word, okay? You trust in his reliability. You have complete trust in him being reliable because that's all you've ever seen is him being reliable and true to himself. So when he says, hey, can I borrow $1,000? I'll pay you back next week when I get paid. Okay? You say, no problem. I'll give you the money. Next week comes, he says, hey, I can't pay you today because my money ain't hit. It's gonna hit tomorrow. And you said, okay, you trust that. I don't think this is a good example. But all I'm really trying to say is that you're not out here trying to find evidence that something is true, or you're not investigating something to be true, because you accept whatever that somebody has told you, whatever a promise, whatever it is to be true, because you believe in the reliability, the strength of truth. You believe in what it is. That's the reason. That's the reason why you do not question its ability. You no longer question something's ability. You no longer question the validity of someone or something because it has proven to you already to be true. So I say this to say, Chuck, what are you doing? I say this to say that faith, the reason why faith, the mustard seed faith, can move mountains is because you have to have pure confidence that something is going to happen, and you don't need evidence, and you don't need to investigate. You're walking in something because you know it to be true, not because of anything other than, can you stop? You're making too much noise, and I don't know what you're doing. It sounded like Something ain't right. And faith is not just complete trust. Faith is trust and patience. And patience is the key to faith. Because due to faith, due to patience, you can see the fruit of faith. Patience bears the fruit of the seed, faith. The seed of faith bears the fruit, patience. Or patience bears the fruit of the seed of faith. Because patience is an aspect of faith. Because I want y'all to look at it like this. Water can move a mountain. Water can move a mountain. Something so gigantic and enormous. That mountain can be moved by water. Something so water is so magnificent because it's so thin, flows through anything. But it's powerful. It's like the more water something has or something is, the more power it carries, the more pressure it has. So the reason why water can move a mountain is due to erosion. But this requires time. Without time, water could not move a mountain without time. But water has the ability to move a mountain. With the right time, water can move a mountain. But to see that, the fruition of that requires patience. And to stay long enough to even have patience, you have to have faith in water's ability. When you without see, how do you know that mountain's gonna be moved with enough time if you don't have patience or trust in the ability that water could do something like that? If you don't know water can do something like that, you're not going to develop the patience to wait it out because you do not even believe in water's ability. But if you know water has the ability to do that, you would then now have the trust to then form the patience that is required to wait to see water then move that mountain. And to be able to see water move a mountain will require faith. So the mustard seed of faith can move mountains because faith is powerful. Because without faith, the law of gestation would not work. And this is it for right now. So I think of something else.